The JUNO Awards broadcast is March 25th in Halifax, Nova Scotia, and I'm talking to an artist nominated for her very first JUNO. It's for Underground Dance Single of the Year. DJ Karaba, how are you today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. So I've been listening to your music, and you just came out with a new single last month, Kokoma. Your musical influence, see if I got this right. So you're born in France, and you moved to Montreal when you were 7. Your dad's from the Congo, and your mom is of Italian descent. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Okay, so musically, you're influenced by a lot of stuff here, and of course you're bilingual, French, English. From France, you moved to Montreal, which it's a totally different kind of French. So when you're making your music, how do you determine English or more French or more from the Congo, for each song that you make?
It's a good question. First of all, congratulations for this intro, because you got it perfectly.
Oh, thanks.
It's always people you're born in France, you moved to Canada. It's a big recipe, but I think it's with the feeling. I go with the feeling when it comes to music. My first EP, I really wanted to celebrate my Congolese origins, and so I went more into that direction. And in my second EP, I really wanted to do a full French EP, and I went in that direction. So it just depends how I feel and what comes naturally to me. So I don't really overthink about, am I going to do this in English or in French, or, I make the music, and then I feel like the elements just show up as I'm making it, and it's okay, this feels like it's going to be in French, this feels like I'm going to be going more towards, my dad's roots, and then maybe this one feels more like I want to celebrate speaking in English. So yeah, it's very, it's a very instinctive and natural process for me when it comes to that.
Speaking of feeling like this, the one that you're up for, the JUNO, is called Mad Mess, and I feel you were pretty angry when you made that song.
Yes, I was. Yeah. I was, I can't remember what it was exactly. I just know it was during the pandemic, so obviously there was a lot of different emotions. It was kind of hard for me during that time, that period of time, which I'm assuming for many artists, as we were, during the lockdown and all that. So I remember just being frustrated and very angry about something, and so I channeled those emotions into that song, and that's how Mad Mess came about.
You've been traveling all over doing your music. You're back in Canada, though, now.
Yes. Yeah, I'm in Montreal right now.
And really, you were traveling all over, not for making music, but you were a dancer before this.
Yes, I was a professional dancer for about 10 years, yeah. I started dancing when I was 7.
When you were 7? When you came to Canada?
Yeah, exactly. As soon as I moved to Canada, my parents put me in dance classes.
And then you end up going to the States. You moved to New York and LA, and you were sharing the stage and dancing with Selena Gomez and Drake and tons of heavy hitters. Yeah,
that was always one of my biggest dreams as a little girl. I saw the All For You tour when I was 11, and then I was very inspired by Janet Jackson and artists like that who were like triple threat, who could dance, sing, and act, and I fell in love with it, and I always wanted to be a professional dancer. So for me, it was natural to just follow that dream and go to the United States, and yes, dancing along very amazing and talented artists like Selena or Drake or other artists.
And so somewhere along the way, that dream changed. So you get to be on huge stages with big artists dancing. And then, so was it the underground scene in New York or LA that got you thinking about DJing?
Yeah, it was definitely the underground scene in LA. During that time, it was very, I was discovering, that scene, like the DJ scene, and there was a lot of parties and like electronic music, and I was really drawn to it and very inspired by that scene. And I think that towards the end of my dance career, I just felt like there was no more challenges for me when it comes to just pushing myself forward in my art. I just felt like I was doing tours after tours, and I was really happy, but I think that I wasn't fulfilled like I was in the beginning. And so I just wanted to challenge myself to do something completely new and really push my limits again, just like I did with the dancing.
So you DJ at clubs, but you also produce your own music. Are you spending more time in the studio or in the clubs?
I would say last year I was really more in the clubs and in festivals and all that, and I feel like this year I'm much more in the studio because I want to perfect my music production and get better at it and really find my sound and what defines who I am as an artist through my music. So I feel like for right now, I'm definitely more in the studio.
And when you were in LA dancing, like I know you went to the DJ Scratch Academy, is that while you were in your dancing career, or was it you just decided to not be a dancer anymore and went to that?
I started taking those classes in 2016, so I was still dancing in 2016, and in 2017, that's when I actually went on tour with Drake. So I was still doing dancing professionally, and I think DJing was starting to be something that I was taking seriously, but I was kind of shy, so it was like my kind of side thing that I wasn't really talking to people about, but I was like starting to get confidence and be like, oh, I really like this and I want to start doing this. But it was like a transition time between when I was still dancing and slowly getting into DJing.
Okay. So do you have any other dreams that you want to manifest? Because I can't believe, like, those are two huge dreams and you're up for a Juno. Like, that's a big award in this country.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is there any other dreams that you have? Or do you think you love DJing so much you're going to be doing this for a very long time?
I don't know. I'm sure knowing myself. I mean, right now I'm very thankful and I'm just going to stay on the music, journey and really discover myself through that as an artist. But I'm sure in like, I don't know, let's say like 10 years from now maybe, yeah, I'll probably be like, okay, what's the next step? What else can I do? Well, how else can I push myself? And maybe around that time it'll be more like personal goals. Like, I also want to have a family and have that too. So I'm very career driven, but I think that at a certain point too, like I might want to just,
settle down,
sit in my backyard and relax.
Oh,
and that might be my dream at some point.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So for the Juno, so you've never been before. What are you expecting? Like anything that you have to do or what you have to wear? Do you have your dress picked out?
No, I'm actually very anxious. I'm a very anxious person, so I don't know what to expect. But I kind of like that. I like that, just throwing myself into something that, I really don't know about. I think it's going to be exciting for sure. I am working on the outfits and all that because I love fashion. So we're definitely working on that with my team. But I think it's going to be great. I'm very excited. I get to DJ a lot during that weekend. I'm doing the Juno Fest on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'm also doing the broadcast. I'm going to be the DJ. So there's just like a lot of things to be excited about. And I think it's just going to be a great experience overall. So I'm very excited to there next week.
We're crossing our fingers for you that you get Underground Dance Single of the Year. It's been really great talking to you, and I really appreciate the time you took.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.